That sounds so familiar.
Uh, straight
So
A's,
familiar.
straight straightforward, straight A's, straight girl.
Yeah,
There's
that
this girl
sounds
I
familiar.
like, but I can't say anything because it would be out of line. Like, whatever. Someone
Yeah.
made an animation of that, and the YouTuber I had mentioned earlier did a reaction to it. And in the animation, not in the lyrics, but in the animation itself, it shows them like using magic.
Oh, okay.
So from watching that, I got an idea for an entire story, which I don't know. It's one of my superpowers. I can just see a thing and come up with a full story for it. Low key exhausting, but it's fun. It's nice. A story of, again, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Little Witch Academia.
Am
Okay, so you are.
I? I
Oh,
love
it's
that
only like 14 more.
anime.
Okay, not very much more anyway. So, so imagine something like that kind of a setting. Oh, someone gave me a failed dish. Okay, but imagine that kind of setting. Magical school sort of thing. Girl comes to a magical school specifically because she had caused like magical misfortune in her old school, and so she had to be taken to a magical school so she could be taught how to properly use her magic and not have incidents like that again. So like that's the premise for the story. Then she meets the Little Miss Perfect. So Little Miss Perfect. Oh wait. See, we're level 4422. We just got 2 levels from eating 2 levelizers. You see it?
Yeah.
Alright, perfect. So the main character is the Ordinary Girl from the Ordinary Girl song that was like a tie-in to Little Miss Perfect. The girl that Little Miss Perfect falls in love with has a song of her own where she thinks of herself as just plain and ordinary, and like, why does this perfect girl lets me be in her world and stuff. Yeah, there was a line in the song. It's like, oh yeah, all these heroes on TV, but they never look like me. And then the guy doing the reviewing pauses it. Is like, oh yeah, that hits close to home. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. The guy's like black. Like that's the thing in like
Oh,
fiction.
wow.
There's basically never any like leading characters who are anything but cisgendered white male, straight,
Yeah.
cishet white male. Very sometimes there is, but they're usually still white and generally still straight. Uh, Big problem in fiction. Really needs to be addressed. Really needs to be fixed. But anyway, so this whole story, this ordinary girl goes to the school, except she's not really ordinary because she causes magic. Her introduction was that she exploded her school, basically. Big magical stuff, and then throughout the series, she does more magical stuff, like making out with a clone of herself, like whatever. Always getting in trouble for using magic, but never actually uses magic like in class, so she still gets like terrible grades, even though everyone knows, hey, she's great at magic. We can't actually flunk her because we know that she can do this. She's just not doing it. And then like the end of the school year, after forming a relationship with the Little Miss Perfect girl, the ordinary girl, or extraordinary girl, gets like brought in. It's like, because you refuse to try to handle your magic, we are going to have to take it away from you. So this is whole scene, like a whole, could be like a build up of multiple episodes to this event where they're going to take away her magic. And it's not, but the magic system that I thought for this is different from magic system from Little Witch Academia, which didn't express too much on why only certain people could use magic. But I figured it could be a thing like inside of them, like they could have like a philosopher's stone or whatever in them as like a conduit to use the magic through. Because that's never properly
Oh,
expressed
okay.
in Little Witch, but I was thinking something like that. whatever, so they can actually
Okay.
take it away and she won't be able to use magic anymore. Uh, people shooting off fireworks? So anyway, the whole big event goes through. She gets into the ritual circle, whole ritual. But throughout this entire thing, she's had like her same attitude with her, been the same cavalier way about using magic, like whatever. She doesn't seem to care at all that she's going to lose it forever. She gets into the ritual, gets into the circle, the ritual starts, the spell happens, she's like lifted into the air and then dropped back down. Something is wrong. She gets sent back to her room. Apparently nobody knows what's going on. And then she eventually reveals her biggest secret to the Little Miss Perfect, where she actually was an ordinary girl all along. Her Philosopher's Stone was taken when she was like a baby. She was never able to use magic in the first place. Every single time when she was being blamed for using magic, she was taking the blame for someone else. She was taking the fall for her friends every step of the way. From in her non-magical school, it was someone else who caused the explosion, and she took the blame for it. At school, she made friends who was like, hey, you know that spell that you've always wanted to cast but never could because you get in trouble for it? Like, I'll take the detention for it. Like, what are they going to do? Give me one more detention? One more mark? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Alright, you cast a spell, I'll have some fun with it. You'll know that you got to cast a powerful spell and get to feel a little bit of good when the teachers say it was powerful magic. I'll take the blame, whatever. It goes on my record. We're friends, I'll do that for you. But she was doing that, and she even, including a part where she gets the Little Miss Perfect to break the rules like that for her. Basically everyone in the school, she has taken the blame for their magic instead, and she could never use it herself, which is why she never used it in class. And like, imagining like just a flashback to all the various episodes and like behind the scenes things where she was like talking with her friends the whole time about like, oh no, you use the spell, I'll take the blame for it, I don't mind, throughout the entire show, all the way back
Oh.
to her being at her muggle school at the explosion, when she's just standing there in like the remains of like, you know, pink obvious magic explosion. It's like, oh, you did this, and she just like glances over at her friend just like running away. It's like, and then instead of saying yes, she didn't say yes. She said, so what if I did? But she didn't say that she did. They just assumed that she did, and then she started taking all the blame for it.
Oh.
So the plot twist is that she actually was an ordinary girl, enjoying her time in the
wow.
spotlight, and she took the blame for all of those spells before because it made people think she wasn't so ordinary after all.
Okay.
And I got all of that just from listening to those two songs. Little Miss Perfect and Ordinary Girl. If I actually had motivation to write about stuff, I could write so many stories. In fact, speaking of being poly, I don't know if you saw it going around, but there was a picture that someone had taken about like a bunch of like Dobermans sitting around a motorbike with like a little like fuzzy little dog sitting in like on the motorbike seat. So it's like, oh, draw this as a girl gang, and it's like three like big tough women just like sitting around the bike with like this little prissy like this little rich girl just sitting on it. It's like, oh yeah, there's a story for that. It's like, just look at a thing, it's like, oh yep, I can see a nice story for that. It's like a superpower. Everyone has little superpowers. Just gotta figure out what yours are. Mine is every stat is put into luck and like story making. Whatever. Not like the sorts of story making that make for a very good story, but the kind that make the baseline of the story in the first place that other people can then improve on. I should apply to work at Rooster Teeth and just be all like, and just like show like a couple of like storyline ideas that I have, and just like, here, how about you test me? Show me like some random picture that, like some random image, that wasn't made for a specific thing, and I'll make a story about it, and like boom, because that those times that you remember in like class where they'd show a picture and like you'd have to write a story and you have like an hour to write something. I was good at that. I was good at the making a story, not so great at the writing, but I was good at that. I can come up with stories. Telling them, reading them, remembering them, all terrible. Heck, I didn't even remember that Little Miss Ordinary Girl story. I remembered the prompt that I had for it, and then recreated it again. It's like a computer. I don't remember the actual thing. I just remember the prompt and go from there. Like I have various, blocks of speech that I have memorized. I don't have the full thing memorized. Like the Camp Camp introduction song, I don't have it memorized. What I have is the first line, and then if I say the first line, I remember the next line, and then I remember the next. But if someone's like, oh, what comes before this part? It's like, yo, I don't know. Let me start from the top, then I'll get it.
I'll figure it out. I just gotta work on this.
Yeah, this place I know that's tucked away, a place where you and I can stay, where we can go to laugh and play and have adventures every day. Hold on. Oh, this place I know that's tucked away, a place where you and I can stay, where we can go to laugh and play and have adventures every day. I know it sounds hard to believe, but guys and gals, it's true. Camp Campbell is the place for me and you. We'll swim through lakes and climb up trees, catch fish, bugs, bears, and honeybees. There's endless possibilities, and no, that's not hyperbole. Our motto's Camp ADM, and that means I'm telling you. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
There's archery, hiking, search, rescue, biking, horseback, trainer that was saved from a hard act, scuba diving, miming, keeping up with rhyming, football, limbo, science, starting, peacock, spaceships, treasure hunting, bomb defusal, no refusal, no fantasy, circus, trapeze, and fights and ghosts and pates and snakes and knives and chess and dancing weights. It's Camp Camp. And yes, I took the time to memorize that because obviously I did. People get cheered for rememberizing stuff like that. It's not that hard. I have. When you go and talk for so many hours, eventually you just start saying things, and sometimes say the same things over and over again. It's all well and good.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I came up with a really unhealthy coping mechanism for life. You want to hear it?
What is it?
Nothing really matters because people aren't real.
Sometimes I wonder that myself.
No, just nah. Yeah, it doesn't matter what they said. People aren't real. Like, imagine telling that to a kid when they have like bullies. Like, not saying, "Oh, the bullying didn't happen." It's like, "Oh, it's fine." People aren't real. Not just the bullies aren't. Just no people. People aren't real. We're like unicorns. We're not real.
Yeah, real.
It's like,
so that's it.
Oh yeah? Prove to me that people are real. Go. You want to start an argument? Prove. Prove that we're real.
That's one of those things you can't prove.
Yeah, try me.
You actually can't prove.
And it doesn't matter.
You can't actually really prove anything because, like,
Yes.
other than your own mind existence, and even then,
It might exist, but that doesn't mean it's real.
there's philosophical arguments to be had there.
And it doesn't matter what kind of argument you make to prove that people are real. You don't real. You don't real. It's only 10 p.m. I shouldn't be this tired. You don't real. See, this is one of those times when I wish I was a popular
Oh
YouTuber,
yeah.
because someone would like put that in, and I could get that for like a soundboard of me saying, "You don't reel," to go along with the Caves of Kolos. Perfect. I want a soundboard of things. Oh, also the also need to grab the I'm feeling confident. That's another good memory from another Let's Play, which I don't think I
Aw.
actually saved that episode. But all right, let's see if you played this one. Saints Row.
I haven't. Wait, I think I've seen someone play one of them though. If that's the game I think it is.
We have almost doubled. I think we've doubled our level in this one episode. Oh, not
Oh
episode. Sorry,
wow.
it's like 6 or 7 episodes. In this one recording session, we've like doubled our level. More than.
Oh wow.
So that's cool. And we still have more levelizers because in the time it takes for us to get the stuff for gold juice and get the stuff for levelizers and make the juice and make the levelizers, we don't have enough time remaining to eat all of the levelizers. So we're just in an endless loop of trying to keep eating these things. I feel like Asuna from Sword Art Abridged. How do I eat you?
Wait, like you mean like a sword art online abridged?
Yeah,
Uh,
remember that one?
must watch.
She didn't know how to like open the
I used
menu.
to watch. Huh?
She like didn't know how to open the menu.
I haven't watched the abridged
Uh,
version. I've watched Sword Art Online though.
the abridged version is really funny.
Thanks. I
Oh shoot.
have watched so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and also
Oh, if you like the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, or at least poking fun at it, you should check out Game Champ's series of all the 4 dubs changes to Yu-Gi-Oh. When I first saw it recommended to me, I didn't think it was going to be that great, and then I actually watched it, and it's like, oh hey, it's pretty good. Not as funny as Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but it is something to
Yu-Gi-Oh!
watch if
Abridged is
you
the
have an interest in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it is something worth watching.
Did you say it's like all the changes that were made in the 4 Kids version?
Yeah,
Yeah, there were a lot. They
yes.
like totally sanitized that show.
Well, it's not just that. They change around some lines and stuff. So, like, in one in one version, there's a whole conversation about the reward that Yugi wished for from the puzzle, which was something that can be seen but can't be seen, aka friendship, which is then referenced later on in the show, like in the Japanese. But in the English, since that conversation was removed, they had to change every time it got referenced later on.
Okay.
So, yeah, changing a few. So, sometimes it's more than just, oh, they took out the gun. It's like, hey, they actually changed like the tone of entire lines of dialogue and completely changed around conversations. So it's an interesting premise, considering how difficult it is to find like the original Japanese version of the show. It's something nice worth checking out, and like some big glaring plot holes in the English version are not plot holes in the Japanese, because the lines are different and they explain like what happens. And of course, there's stuff like a laser energy disc that will send you to the shadow realm if it touches you, versus a saw
Oh yeah, yeah. The
coming for your
laser,
legs.
the shadow round laser disc, or if you don't win this duel, the ground below you will break, and you'll go to the
Yes.
Shadow
You'll
Realm.
fall down this skyscraper like 50 stories, but you'll reach the Shadow Realm before you hit the bottom. I was just thinking about that
For
one too.
for some reason.
Apparently, the
No, like
Japanese, the cards actually had like
the
text on
original
them.
Yu-Gi-Oh was gruesome.
There's a whole part that was changed between the original and the 4Kids version of. I think it was the part of Kaiba being kidnapped on Duelist Island or whatever. You remember those guys like pointing their fingers at him? And then he eventually gets
Oh
out
yeah,
and kind of
they
like.
handed out the guns and they just point the fingers and then
But,
he like jumps out the window, but the window the glass in the window breaks before he even jumps out.
but,
Because like
there's a part after that where he like fights off one of the goons, and I think in the English he like pushes him or something. But in the
yeah.
original Japanese, the guy points a gun at him, and I'm blanking on his name, Kaiba, Seto, takes one of his cards, and it's specifically like Protector of Defense or whatever that is, and like slides it into the hammer of the gun so the guy can't shoot him, and then he disarms him and knocks him down. Which that all got taken out because that would make even less sense if you take out the gun. You just like stab someone with a
Yeah.
card kind of thing. But that got
Yeah.
censored from the original manga. Even in the original manga, he's taking on a helicopter to be captured somewhere. Where he winds up beating up both the guys in the back with him, doing the card thing, putting the card in the hammer so the guy can't shoot him, knocking both the guys out of the helicopter and into like the ocean, and then kicking the pilot
Oh
out and taking control of the helicopter for himself.
yeah.
So the actual like the sub got censored, right? Yeah, the sub got censored. In
Oh,
addition to the dub being censored.
even the well, at least the like at least the Yu-Gi-Oh as it the
Yes.
anime that focused on the cards, they cut like a whole bunch of story arcs out that had nothing to do with dual monsters.
Sigh.
What's that?
I said sigh. Oh, speaking of awesome Yu-Gi-Oh moments, shout out to the time I won a game of Commander with Exodia.
Wait, wait, what? I'm confused.
What's up?
We Magic the Gathering Commander with
Yeah,
Exodia?
yeah, I won a game of Magic the Gathering Commander with Exodia.
How? Is there
I'm
a crossover?
Nope.
Is
I uh I made an entire deck just to get this done, and it ultimately ended up. And I made the deck. I played it once, and I managed to get the win with Exodia. So that was pretty awesome. What happened was the entire deck was focused around this. I cast the card Death Wish. What Death Wish does is by losing half of my life rounded up, I get to search for one card I own from outside the game and put it in my hand. And that's specifically what it says. Card I own from outside the game.
Wait.
So I cast Death Wish. Now, unfortunately, Death Wish exiles itself when it resolves, so I can't get it back from the graveyard to be cast, and bringing stuff back from exile is really painful and difficult to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So I cast Death Wish and I copied it 4 times. So I went from 30 some life, from like 36 life down to 1, because I lost half my life, rounded up, 5 times. So I had to be at least 32 life or it wouldn't have worked at all. I would have just died. And then what I did was, remember playing, I was playing with real people with, well, I use like printouts of cards, whatever, with paper cards. And so I left the room and I came back with 5 cards that I own. I do absolutely own them. They are mine.
Yeah.
And I came back and I said, good game. And I revealed that I had went out and grabbed the 5 pieces of Exodia, which say that if they're all in your hand, you win. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that I can't play them according to the rules of Magic. Their ability specifically states that they all have to be in my hand in order for me to win. And they were all in my hand. Because I just tutored for all 5 of them to put into my hand. Also, to add to this, it was my birthday. Not the Goldstone birthday, a number of years before then, but it was also my birthday. And like, if you ever wind up talking to Chandra, you can ask her about it. I'm not sure if she remembers, but she was there in that game. And another friend who I think either moved away or I started working, whatever, we lost contact. Whatever. So I was like, alright, go to my turn. All I have is like mana and like this like 0/1 creature. I was like, okay, attack you with the 0/1. He's like, okay, I block and kill it. I'm like, okay, cool. Put it in the graveyard. But since I attacked, I will play this creature. When it enters the battlefield, the next instant or sorcery spell and like trying to like play it out like a stereotypical like Yu-Gi-Oh thing. So next instant or sorcery spell I cast will get copied, but since I attacked with a creature this turn, it will get copied twice, and I will cast. Do the whole cracking knuckles thing. Death Wish. By paying half my life points rounded up, I get to search for 1 card I own from outside the game and add it to my hand. But before that finishes resolving, I'm going to cast like Chain of Command or whatever it was, and I'm going to copy that spell twice. So I will resolve 5 copies of Death Wish, changing my life total to 1. Shoot, I have to get the cards. Thankfully, we're at where I was living, so I was able to just get up, run away, grab the cards, come back. It's like, alright. So I have my 5 cards in the little blue sleeves as I sit back down. And with that, I win. And they're just kind of like glance at each other, look back at me. It's like, well, how do you win? What's it? It's like they're expecting like me to do some convoluted combo with these 5 cards to like win. It's like, no. I said, and like flip over the cards dramatically, I win. And it's just Exodia. And like nobody says anything for like a minute. And it's like, wait. Not the same reaction as you did. Like, wait a second.
How's this work? And that is how you explain a loophole.
Yes, according to the actual rules of Magic, it doesn't work that way. But we did it anyway, because we don't care about what's possible so
It's
much.
funny for the shits and giggles.
Why do I have so many golden... Sigh, I need Emily flowers. So yeah, I have lots of stories of random stuff like that, and I have lots of stories that I have completely made up. Such is life, huh? Why am I... Oh, I think I know what happened. Okay. I kind of messed up and used... No. Whatever. I have 14, like, not enough on the golden vegetables, and I have, like, 14, like, too many on, like, these things. So I think I just messed up my, counts a little bit, but whatever, it'll be fine. I'll just grab more. And everything will be fine. It'll work out in the end. It all makes sense at the end, which is a song. Hank Green of the Vlogbrothers
pink
We
green.
have very random and arbitrary connections to our areas of interest. I was really expecting you not to know that.
No,
For the record,
I watched Brothers, SciShow, uh, the whole like Crash Course series. I've watched
okay.
so many of their videos.
But have you read the books? I've read most
I
of
haven't
the
read the
books.
books yet. I'd like to.
Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska, The Fault in Our Stars, which is not The Fault in Our Stars like my mother thought it was. Gosh,
Ooh,
Paper Towns was like my favorite book for a while, and then like the movie finally came out, and I realized just how like uh, what would be the term, heterotypical the book is, and it's like, oh shoot, this is actually like kind of like not a good message. Yeah,
well,
boy meets quirky girl. Boy, for some reason, thinks quirky girl is going to like change his life. No, meeting the quirky girl changes boy's life. Boy thinks that he should have some possession over quirky girl and make her
isn't that
explain why.
like the whole like? Isn't that the whole like thing with the like manic pixie like
Yes,
dream girl?
yes. John Green has
Yeah.
a whole thing where he tries to write stories in such a way to deconstruct the manic pixie dream girl trope as a whole,
Oh.
but instead just writes manic pixie dream girls
Oh.
characters anyway. So he has said that he doesn't like that trope and he tries to deconstruct it, but like reading his books, like no, these characters are just manic pixie dream girls who come into some boy's life and completely change it up. And like the deconstruction isn't actually there. But it's funny though, because his least favorite one of his works that he has had published to the public is like zombie coins, and that's like my favorite thing. When I read zombie coins, I immediately went and made a channel for my vlog about it, and then I had made a second video. I made two videos about that novella, one spoiler free, one with spoilers. Immediately after I read it, because I just had to talk about it with someone. Because the whole thing
Oh,
was,
okay.
and it's like, I just wanted like more of it, and then John Green goes on the channel, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I hate this, and I wish I never actually ran it." I'm like, "No, but I want more." Have you read Zombie Corn, or do you care if I spoil it? Because there's like, kind of like one line near the end that I kind of just absolutely love from like a storytelling standpoint, or just from a line standpoint at least.
Oh, okay.
Do you mind if I spoil it?
Sure.
Sure, you do mind, or sure I can say it?
Right? It's okay.
Okay, that's. Oh, we're not get. Oh no, it's too late. No, shoot. Oh well. Stores close at like 1300 on holidays, which sucks. Imagine stores closing at
Yeah.
1 p.m. on a Saturday.
Aw.
Like, no, I want to do more shopping. I want to buy from you. Please let me buy stuff. At least Raven and Arthur, you can buy stuff until like midnight. Anyway, uh, so yeah, people are zombies. It's a zombie story. It wasn't because of unicorns. They became zombies from eating corn that was contaminated. Zombie corn. Main character's little sister became a zombie, but zombies were not. But the zombies of this story are not completely mindless. They do certain things on a regular basis. So, like, person who lived in a place, when they become a zombie, they might roam around that place. So,
Oh, okay.
so the main character leaves out like food for her little sister at the same time, same place every day, and just watches the sister go eat it, go around, because you can be around zombies without them eating you if you do certain precautions, whatever. And that's just the thing that she always does. She meets someone else who's human, who's all like, "Hey, we should get out of here, go north. Zombies can't survive the north; it's too cold." will be safe there. There are people there in Canada somewhere or other. And she's all like, yeah, let's go. But in the back of her mind, she's all like, well, I'll have to leave my little sister in with all of these zombies. Like, yeah, she is a zombie, but she's also my sister. So there's that whole thing going. And then on like what would have been the last day before leaving, she goes to feed her sister one more time, and as her sister comes up to like take the food, she just hears like a shotgun go off, and her new friend has just killed her sister. And she's all like, yeah, well,
wow.
I know that you've been hesitant about leaving your sister here, and now you don't have to worry about that. She was just a zombie. She wasn't real. She's not coming back. There's no cure. She's going to be a zombie until she died, and now she's dead, and you don't have to worry about her. And, like, she tries to explain all this stuff. I wish I had the exact line. But then, main character, she takes her own shotgun, levels it up to the girl's chest, and then I pulled the trigger, and my regret was immediate, absolute, and worthless.
Oh, wow.
Yes! And I've been waiting some manner of years to share that line with someone, because I thought that line was just probably I don't think it was worthless, but my regret was immediate, absolute, and inconsequential or something, like, and meaningless or whatever. But like that kind of complete and utter shift in tone like that done via text is really hard to do, and I would know this. I've tried to emulate that for years. I've tried to do something like that for the longest time and have not been able to, because it's not easy to just completely shift the whole tone of a story, and not something to just brush away like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And speaking of great writing, Ruby, Red Like Roses. The Ruby trailers, have songs about the characters, but people watched the Red trailer and heard Red Like Roses and heard the full version of it, and they were all, hey, this show isn't so much about the character Ruby. Yes, the main character of Ruby is Ruby. Yeah,
Yeah, I knew
this
that.
is Ruby's song, and it's not so much about her. And then Jeff Williams, person doing the songs, is like, oh, okay, hold on a second. And he writes Red Like Roses Part 2, and it's like just the most like awesome thing ever. It's literally a song about... It's a song that starts from the perspective of a daughter who lost her mother, saying, hey, why did you have to go and leave me alone in this world? Like, why'd you have to go and die? And the mother sings along to the duet, saying, I'm sorry about this, but other people were also counting on me. I had like a lot of people who needed me to do what I did. It's like, yes, but I'm your daughter. I should be worth more than the other people. And it's like, yes, if I could change things, I would change things. I see that now, that you should have been the most important to me, but it's too late to do anything about that. And I urge you, I beg you, don't do the sorts of things that I did. Don't throw your life away because somebody cares about you as much as you care about me. Someone wants you to live as much as you wish that I could have lived. Don't do what I did. And the daughter's like, well, no, you went and you died. If you wanted me to not do this kind of stuff, if you wanted me to not be an adventurer, you could have lived and told me yourself.
Yeah.
And that just popped out. It's like, okay, fine, I'll give you a Ruby song. It's like chills, haunting. Kind of sad when you actually think about the lyrics and not just about like the metalness of the song itself, but people like the tune of the song, so that's
Or,
what people get.
or,
Also, here's a pop quiz time. Vlogbrothers, the first song that Hank wrote for the channel, what was it?
uh,
Or at least the first song that he performed on the channel.
I'm not
I don't know if he wrote it
sure.
for the channel, but I'm pretty sure he did write it.
What was it?
It was a song about Magic the Gathering. And yes, I
Noise.
do have that saved somewhere. In January of
I might have to look
2007.
it up.
Good luck looking up. You'd have to look up the episode itself if you want to find it. I'm probably the only person who's actually saved it.
Oh,
In January of 2007, he performed some song about Magic the Gathering. I think he mentions like
huh.
Shivan Dragon and stuff, so that's royal flashback. Yeah, we could probably make it level 5. So, how are you feeling? You got more
Hmm?
random stories to share? More stuff you want to chatter about? Or what's up?
Hmm.
I wonder though, are there any games? Yeah, what do you think about that? Also consider, are there any games that you've like just always wanted to play, but like never thought that you really wanted to? Like just things that you're like, oh yeah, that would be awesome to play, but I don't know. We could do a series about something.
Well, I'm plural, so we're always conflicted about like what we want to play or do. 'Cause like I could like be like, oh yeah, I want to do this thing. But then an alter would be like, nope. Or I'd be like, I don't know if I want to. And then an alter will be like, oh yeah, let's do this.
That just kind of makes me wonder if I'm actually like bipolar or not.
What's up?
So just the way that you described that made me start thinking about stuff, and I should probably get tested
Oh,
to see if I'm bipolar. I wonder if I am, because I
not
do
bi.
have.
I'm not bipolar. I meant
No,
plural.
no, I know, but the way you were
Oh,
describing
yeah.
that made me remember things that made me remember things and chain and chain and chain, and just made me think of like say someone I used to know who was bipolar, and how she had described it, and had and made me start thinking, hey, maybe I am. I never did get tested for that. I literally only got tested for depression, which is like a 6 question, single page thing of just yes, yes, yes. Um, and got tested for, well, asked about gender dysphoria because they don't want to, it's the government. They want to pretend that nobody is trans. And I got a big old test for autism. Hey, I got
Yeah.
on AISH for that. That took a while, but I got on it. That's why I'm living where I'm living. It's
The
because
only
of
things
that.
I'm formally The only things I'm formally diagnosed with are being like autistic and gender dysphoria. Though back when I got diagnosed, it was still called gender identity disorder. Uh,
I don't think I got
I
diagnosed with the term at
suspect.
all. I was just like, yep, you're trans. You're trans. Let's get you medication to fix up your body into something that you'll actually want to look at in the mirror.
I highly suspect I'm most like. Well, okay, I'm pretty fucking sure I'm OCD. Um,
Oh gosh.
I
If you were
uh.
OCD, you would call it CDO because that would put the letters in alphabetical order the way they're supposed to be.
uh pretty sure quiet borderline personality disorder. but it's like the quiet version, not
Right.
uh
I remember
it
once, and I don't mean this to be offensive, I mean this to be funny. Someone
okay.
once asked me if I had like multiple personality disorder, and I said no. They're all in a nice neat line. No, no, there's no
Yeah.
disorder going on about them.
I don't know if I have um I don't know which like disorder I like if it's
Yeah,
so like the whole dissociative identity disorder is like a spectrum. I found out that's why I wasn't sure if I like was on that spectrum because like you go look at like DID and it's like involves like heavy amnesia and like we don't have the amnesia stuff.
hold on, wait.
Um,
I do have some amnesia about events. Wait, do I have DID? No, seriously,
it's hard to
I'm not quite making a
actually.
joke here. I have a huge gaps of memory between the ages of like 8 and like 16. Where I remember like a few events, but I've forgotten like practically everything that's happened between those years.
Oh, okay,
I just remembered it
it
because it's
can be
hard to
hard.
remember stuff that I've forgotten.
It can be hard to like diagnose or like figure that stuff out
Yes.
because DID is like the hidden disorder.
Yes.
Like it hides itself from like
I mean,
the person with the disorder.
I
I
remember.
didn't realize,
Yes.
but like yeah, I don't know if I'm DID or OSDD is the other one. Otherwise specified dissociative disorder, where that can be without amnesia,
Yeah.
but there's still that presence of like other people there, and not in a way that's like not in
Oh
a way
gosh.
where like I'm not hallucinating them.
I just had an idea for another story. Uh, s- Someone who doesn't know if they have multiple personalities or whatever because they can like hear, interact like mentally, whatever. Never like physically. It's not like how it's done in like TV where like they whatever. They can like hear other people talking to them and stuff. People who seem just as normalized or confused, whatever, about having. But anyway, person grows up. They hear like voices and stuff. There's a quote unquote group of people. I don't want to say this in a way that's offensive. I'm just trying to get it. So whatever. And then, as
Cool.
it turns out, the plot twist of the story, it's actually 6 completely separate people who all have telepathy with each other specifically.
Whoa. We kind of joke that we've got telepathy with each other,
I
but
have
we.
used telepathy once.
What's that?
I have used telepathy before.
Oh.
With my first girlfriend, I remember one day I was just taking a shower and I got like a strong like ping of something like what is someone like pray? Cause like this was the time when I believed I had a guardian angel for different reasons I'll probably get into soon. So I was going to ping and it's like oh like someone is like praying to you. I was like probably not praying to me like you're the angel like if I have a guardian angel they're probably trying to pray to the angel. It's like no 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 someone's praying to me. It's like what the who would be I marked down the time. It's like okay, like 3:14 p.m. whatever. And I'm talking with my girlfriend about it later, and then she confirms that at that exact time in her time zone, whatever, but it wound up being like the same time. She was at church and praying, and did give a prayer to me at that same
Oh
time
wow.
that I got like a mental ping that someone was praying to me. Someone was praying to me. Like, okay, scientists, figure that out. I've only ever gone that ping once, and as far as I'm aware, someone's only prayed to me once. Oh gosh, imagine if I actually was like a big YouTube personality and people started like a religious like sect about it. I'd have to like go on. It's like, hey, people, stop praying to me. I can't hear what your prayers are, but they are annoying. So please stop. I would like to sleep, but all I hear is just ping, ping, ping. I can't read your messages. I can just know that I get them. And with the guardian angel thing, I was I specifically remember one day at school at like lunchtime. I wasn't really doing anything, so I was just like messing around. There's like a little wire by the ground, like 4 or 5 inches up, no big deal. And I was just jumping over it, and I get like this thing like it's probably like a conscious thing, whatever. And I just says guardian angel because I was just weird that like that. But it's like, hey, you should stop doing this. Like, I don't have anything else to do. I don't have like homework to do anything, and I just have to wait for lunch to be over to go to class. It's fine. No, you should stop doing this, or you will get hurt. It's like, no, it's fine. I'll be fine. Anyway, as I'm jumping, I wind up getting hurt and like twisting or shaking or rolling or whatever my ankle. Like the one time I get like something telling me. What if people don't actually have consciences and it actually is just guardian angels telling people not to do stupid things? No! People aren't real. This is one giant game of like D&D or whatever, and that's the DM saying you don't want to do this. It's not a conscience, it's the dungeon master.
Well, guardian angel type consciousness could be like also like a form of plurality. Because,
If I have multiple personalities at this point, it wouldn't even surprise me, because I have literally said for years that my method of dealing with being shy is to just pretend to be the sort of person who isn't shy, and that's literally how I get over it and like talk to people and like just talk to strangers.
I have an alter Alex that comes out. He's like really extroverted. He's the one that gets me to push me past my limits.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very shy person by
Oh yeah,
default.
I can tell the fact that you've
So,
had a almost 7 hour recording session together for our first bit of vocal conversation, and you've been an active participant the whole time. Thank you for that, by the way. Sometimes when I try to do VC stuff with people, they like might say 4 words an hour. And it's like, you said you wanted to VC with the Let's Play, and let's do it. Let's voice. Let's chat. They're like, oh, but sorry, I'm shy. It's like, if you're going to be too shy to talk, you could have said something ahead of time, and I've been like, okay, fine, I understand. Let's not set this up. But people who say, oh yeah, I'm up for it, and then when it comes down to it, they're too shy to do it, even when it comes down to it a minute later, and then they're too shy for it, it's like, people, know your limits. If Counter-Source Drive has taught me anything, know your limits. If something is going to be too difficult for you, don't say that you can do it. You might say that you might be able to do it. Say that you're hesitant about it. Don't say that you can do it. Don't pretend that it's going to be easy if you know it's not going to be. Just know your limits, whatever they are. If you can at least express your limits, people should theoretically be able to respect that much. Going in, yeah, have a job, you've only been there for a few days, someone tries to put you on a station you don't know, like, tell them, it's like, I don't quite know how to use this. And then the manager, who's putting me on the fire station for the first time, while we are in a rush, says, yeah, you'll figure it out. And I did a decent job about that, considering I hadn't worked fires, and I literally got a less than 1 minute demonstration of how to use the entire fire station before I had to use it by myself in the middle of the dinner rush.
oh wow.
If you couldn't tell, I have a lot of issues, and I use making Let's Plays as my sort of therapy, because I could just talk for hours, and eventually eventually I'm going to get randos on the internet coming onto my videos and saying, oh, blah, 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 you probably have this. And then I can go and talk to a specialist. Well, someone suggested I might have this. And if they're the actual specialist who wants to do their job and not the specialist who says, oh, I never believe people who come in saying that they have this disorder, because that means that they looked it up online and don't actually have it, because apparently those kinds of people exist and they suck. I might actually be able to get the help I need to get over various disorders. But right now, I'm in a place where I don't have to work a job, and I can just live.
Yeah.
I can live, and I can have a moderate amount of comforts. I have a computer, I can get new games when I want them. I can talk with people because the internet exists, and I can afford an internet package.
Yeah.
Pretty good internet package. Not like
Oh, that's
literally,
awesome.
yeah, not literally the best in the world, but considering I'm the only one using my internet, it's pretty good. For like a full family, this would be a pretty poor, probably a pretty poor package, but it's just me, so it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's like what, $40 a month, and that's because I had upgraded it so I could upload videos in like an hour or two instead of in like 12 hours. Change the like upload speed from like 2 gigabytes to like 20. So I can actually upload
That is
things.
cool.
Ow. I've been tapping the eat button for so long, my thumb has started to get sore.
Oh no.
Ow. It'll be fine in a few minutes. Okay, and now our level is almost 5,400. We have almost 300,000 max health. Our stats at Vitality and Int are at 25k each. Nice. I've reached the point, considering that we should be getting an average of 3.5 to 4 strength, vitality, and int per level. By the time we reach level 50,000, we should have maxed out vitality and int, so I don't need to take any more of those drugs, and probably maxed out strength as well. So the only like skill drugs I'll be needing beyond levelizer would be HP up, and I want to get max levels before I start eating all of the health ups. What do you think? I think this is a decent point to end off on things. We just saved. We're out of levelizers. We're out of heart drinks. At least we should be. Because we did just take all that was left. We can't make any more right now. So we can take a small break, get some food. Oh, by the way, lumber and material stone. That's the thing in some Harvest Moon games. You can chop logs and break rocks to get lumbers and material stones. Or you can go to Arthur and buy them.
Okay.
So I've literally gone to Arthur and bought.
They've got that in Stardew Valley as well.
Yeah, so I've literally gone to Arthur, bought inventories full of lumber, and just brought my shipping bin over to his shop. Buy from him, throw it in. Buy from him, throw it in. And just do that over and over again until I get like 10,000 of each. And considering that was enough to get all of my rooms. Check it out. I have this room right here, right? And I also have this room with my forge. I don't know what I would need all of these rooms for, but I got them.
Do you like expand it room by room?
Yes.
Sweet.
I got all of the rooms. I got all of the farms. And the main farms... Here you go. These farms up here, these 5, you start with 1, and then you buy the rest one by one.
Oh, okay.
Your storage, your shipping bin, your backpack, and your fridge all start off small, and you can expand them as well. And now we can just keep building more monster barns until we have all of them and have them all as maximum size, but we don't need any more. Because the biggest request for monsters is to have 50 different monsters, or 50 monsters, and we already have them all.
Whoa.
To be fair, getting the monsters was a very fun episode that was shockingly easy to do. And
Oh.
and leads some credence into another idea for the throwing items only run, which is throwing items to recruit monsters, bringing them into the fold, like making them like you, and then dismissing them. Because that is specifically, you just threw an item to get them, and if you dismiss them before they attack anyone, you didn't use the monster, you just used throwing an item to get rid of a monster.
Whoa.
Yeah, you just throw items, and that gets rid of a monster without having to bring its health all the way down to nothing. Recruit the monster and send it back home.
Whoa.
Yes, so a throwing items only run is definitely possible. I'd like to say definitely possible.
Mm-hmm.
You just need a longer starting area, because it's possible to get to the first boss easily. Just grab a bird, start throwing it at monsters. They're weak, they go down easy. But then once you get to the boss, I don't think that failed dishes actually work on the boss. So you'd have to check to see if you can get Iron Leaf by the time you get to the boss, because that's the only crop that hurts them. It's boxes that spawn around, birds that don't go into boss rooms, failed and disastrous dishes, and Iron Leaves. You can even throw a weapon at an enemy and they'll take it as a gift. And also Object X.
Wow.
Object X works against monsters. There's like 5 things that you can use. 2 of them you can't bring into boss rooms. I don't think failed or disastrous dishes work on bosses. So it's literally just Iron Leaves, which are unlocked later on in the game, and Object X, which probably also doesn't work on bosses. So you just have to unlock the Iron Leaf, which I'm not sure if you can actually do. So it all hinges on if you can unlock Iron Leaf without beating any of the bosses. And as you beat bosses, you unlock characters to the town, and you unlock progression with requests, and sometimes requests are locked behind characters. So it's like, oh, you have to give so-and-so character some simple crop. That's locked, but you have to get the character first to unlock the request to do that to get further on. So, and then you finally get that done, and then you do like the next 5 easily. Like the whole, oh, get a skill up to 80 thing. Like, simple. Anyway, this has been fun and long. Almost 7 hours. My thumb hurts. But hey, you know what they say? Girls love a gal who knows how to use her fingers. Have fun, everybody.